is actually vases. So they shatter, they make this noise, and he's curious. What they end up finding in these caves are the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's over 700 different manuscripts, most of which are copies of the Old Testament. There's also a commentary that was found here, if you guys know what commentary is. The coolest thing here, do you guys know the book of Isaiah?
Yep.
What kind of book is Isaiah? Prophetic. So we have prophecy of Jesus in the later chapters, right? The oldest copy we had of Isaiah before this finding was 700 years after Jesus, like the oldest copy. That's not how prophecies work, right? We need like a writing about Jesus and then we need Jesus in history. Here they found multiple copies that were 300 years before Jesus. So you have like physical proof showing, okay, we have like writing of Jesus. Years go by, then we actually have Jesus. Amazing.
And it was almost perfectly aligned.
Word for word. Yes, it was the most complete book. It was.
Which is actually miraculous.
It is. It is. It was all 66 chapters of Isaiah, and they actually found multiple copies of Isaiah here, fully preserved, and they called it the Great Scroll of Isaiah because it was great. Over here we have this lady, Fanny Crosby. So she was blind. That's why she's wearing these glasses. She said, if I had a choice, I would remain blind because when I get to heaven, the first face I will see will be the face of my Savior. Her being blind, she wrote over 8,000 hymns. Do you guys know the song Blessed Assurance? That's her song. The Gideons, have you guys seen these Bibles? So these guys have distributed over 2 billion Bibles so far. 2 billion, and they're still doing it. Really cool. George Mueller, this guy, he grew up, he was not a Christian. Does anybody know who this is? You guys heard of him? Yeah. He grew up, he was not a Christian. He gets invited to a Bible study, he becomes a Christian through this. And he devotes his life to working with orphans. He was known for never asking people for help, but he would literally just pray about it. There were stories of, there would be days where they would have no food for any of the kids. He'd sit them down anyways. He would go into his office, pray, come back out, and there would be a baker that just donated a whole bunch of bread. Literally just because of prayer. And when asked, the baker said that he was just, couldn't sleep last night. He's having like these visions that he needs to just bake. So he gets up, bakes, and just donates it. Orphans that grew up, they were asked like what it was like growing up in these orphanages with Mueller. And they said many times they'd be running up and down the hallways, being kids. If his office door was open, they would try to like creep in and see what he's up to. And the vision or like the image that they saw of him all the time was him on his knees praying. That was like the picture that they had. It was just Mueller on his knees in prayer. This right here, this is a World War II uniform. Franklin Roosevelt is in charge at the time. And he makes this mandate for every soldier to carry this book in their front pocket. Right above the heart, okay? I want you to copy this. In one of these right back here.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You're all good.
It is bulletproof. It's bulletproof? It's bulletproof, feel it. Sorry guys, very sorry. I'll look at you.
Find
Alright. You have a silver coin here. This is the coin that was paid to Judas to betray Jesus. So Judas was paid 30 pieces of this silver to betray Jesus. This is half of the coin. The other half is in Minnesota, which is like our location for the mission. This is the denarius where the Pharisees are trying to trick Jesus into saying something. So you have basically the Pharisees asking Jesus, they're like, do we pay taxes to Caesar or not? And Jesus answers their question with another question. So he says, whose face is on the coin? They answer Caesar. So he says, okay, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give to God what belongs to God. Right? So this is made in the image of Caesar. We give it to Caesar. We are made in the image of God. We belong to God. Right? This is the Lord's Prayer. It's like a little microscope if you guys see this. So this is the Lord's Prayer in 7 different languages. And it's this tiny little book right there at the very bottom.
Oh, wow.
See, super small. Do you guys see this book
What
here?
the heck?
You see this whole book? So this is a Bible right here. So you see how big it is. this right here is also the entire Bible. So this is the entire Bible on this little sheet. And I can kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. If you guys look at this microscope.
Whoa.
So basically every single like little cube you see is one page of the Bible.
Make you feel big or small?
Makes me, I don't know. Really cool though. Over here we have some presidents and what they've said about the Bible. You have George Washington, this is our first president. He said it is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and the Bible. Theodore Roosevelt, a thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education. So we talked about the Hebrew language in the other room. This is a Hebrew Bible. Okay, you can see I'm holding it like this. We hold our books like this, right? So this being a Hebrew Bible, it's written in Hebrew. This is actually a parallel, so you have Hebrew and English. So you have English on one side, Hebrew on one. You can see Genesis is the first book in the beginning, basically. This being a Hebrew Bible, you only have the Old Testament here. It's not the New Testament. Here are some Gideon Bibles, that organization we were talking about. So you can see this is in German. You can see it's showing you like the pocket Bible. Right, so like a picture of a pocket. These are passed out to kids. See the locker on it? Have you guys seen these? Maybe. So, these white ones, I was told that they're passed out to medical staff. So like nurses, doctors, just like the white symbolizes, I guess, that medical field. You always hear the stories of like Bibles that survive home fires, that burned, but the Bible survived. So we have two Bibles that survived home fires that were donated to us. So I'll open them. You can see some like burn damage.
Surprised Jimmy Carter's.
Yeah. I guess we're just limited on space. But if you guys see here, you see like the burn damage. Just from Bibles that survived.
That's pretty cool.
This, if you guys want to feel these pages, I want you guys to guess what this is made out of. Silk. Silk is one of them. That's a fast guess. Not cotton. Not wax. All the way down, you have a Japanese Bible. You have Mongolia. All the way down, you have Mongolian Bible. So looking at all these, if there's a pin on the country, but there's no like yarn, they do have a translation. We just don't have a physical Bible here with us. But yeah, if you guys want to turn around, I have some paintings. I'll show you guys. So this painting here is painted by a guy named Rembrandt. Rembrandt was a painter who painted a lot of biblical paintings. This specific one painted by him, this is his mom that he's painting. And you can see she's wearing a cap, right, with a hat. Usually when you wear a hat, it's going to be blocking out the light, kind of like your forehead, it's like darker. Especially if you're kind of looking forward like she is. But you notice her face is still lit up, right? It's because he's showing us that she's reading the Bible. And he's showing like this light that he would see come out of the cap when she was reading. You have Jesus with the Sermon on the Mount here, and all these different people showing like their different levels of like respect to Jesus while he's preaching. And you have these guys that are really focused and listening. This guy has his back turned towards Jesus. This guy might be a Pharisee with his arms crossed, not really agreeing with what Jesus is saying. And then this one here, this is my favorite one out of all of these. So this is also Jesus, okay? So let's split up. Let's do two of you. If you guys want to go into that corner, like kind of go as far as you can go in there. And then the rest of you, if you guys want to scoop his head. If you were just to continue walking down the path. Okay. Like towards this way? Yeah. Okay, what about you in the very, very back? Okay. Towards you guys. Okay, let's swap. Let's have all you guys go down there. You guys come down here. The main thing is you have to keep your eyes on him. If your eyes are not on him, you're not going to see the path. Right? But yeah, if you guys, from back there, if you guys want to come up here, we're going to talk about this Gutenberg press. This replica that we have here. How many separate families? So that's one. Okay. So like 4 different families, I think, right?
Just by myself.
Alright, so okay. So we'll make 4 copies. You guys want to pick a language? We have 5 different languages here. So this is a good brick price. This is a replica. The real things are like 2 to 3 times bigger than this one. Do you guys remember how long it took to create a Bible before the printing press? 2 to 3 years. Very good. And that's because they were handmade, right? Everything was handmade. They had like designs in the Bible. What about after the printing press? Do you guys remember? 6 days. So
Cool.
it took 6 days to make a Bible after the printing, like using the printing press. And then on the 7th day, Gutenberg rested. Do you want to do this one? So stand right here and slide this in as far as you can go. All the way. And then take this crank right here and pull it and rotate it all the way till it slaps this other side of the wood. Push really hard. Yeah, all the way, all the way. There you go. Count to 5. Push pressure on it. 5. Pull it back. Very good. Slide it back out. Good job. We have in Moldovan, John 3:16. So you can keep that.